So here we are today, and we've got Mick Ord from Mick Ord Media. A very good afternoon to you, Mick.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good, thanks very much. Now, you worked in media in the BBC for 30 years, and now you're on the other side of the fence, as it were, with your PR and media consultancy. So, have you learnt much or any new during this coronavirus lockdown that we're going through?
Well, I think the same principles are true in the coronavirus lockdown as they are in probably most crises, to be honest, Jonathan. And they are that the first stages, the first part, is the most important. Realizing you're in a crisis, getting the facts, getting on top of the facts, getting as wide a variety of opinion about those facts as you possibly can, and then making a decision. And the earlier you're across a crisis, obviously the better. Now, the government has come in for quite a bit of criticism. Critics are saying that they weren't the critics are saying they weren't across the full details of the crisis quickly enough. And now they're playing catch up. According to their supporters in the press, I've got the Times here today, which is yet another unfolding story.
Oh my God.
About the crisis.
That's big numbers.
The ground shifts under your feet in a crisis this complicated. So getting across it, that's the first lesson. Get across the reality, and that golden hour, what I call the golden hour now, in reality that might be a golden day or a golden week or a golden 5 minutes. It's the same for a small company as a massive company, for a government, for a global crisis. The same principles apply.
And are there any other observations that you've made as well?
Yeah, I think that thing I said about shifting grounds. So we heard about the coronavirus. It was in China, then it was Europe, then it was Asia, and then it became different. It became a multifaceted story, like an onion with so many layers. So we had the testing equipment. Have we got it? Have we got enough testing equipment? Do we make our own? There's the whole issue of hospital admissions, hospital deaths, care home deaths, face masks, working on a virus. You have to have a very fleet-footed team, and you have to be able to adapt quickly. And I think the crucial thing that I've learned from this is the importance of being prepared to change direction halfway through if the evidence is there right in front of your eyes.
Right.
Because not one set of scientists that are advising the government or coming from one perspective. They're coming from lots of different perspectives. And some scientists and medical people were saying very, very early on that what is happening now would happen. Now, those voices may have been heard in the cabinet or in Boris Johnson's office, but they didn't come out in the initial decisions, which is why people are saying they're playing catch up. But this can happen in all kinds of crises. I'm not making a political point here. Yeah. This is a macro problem of something that could happen in your company, or indeed my company.
So what, in a nutshell, can a small business or even a solo business on their own take away from something like, whilst we're in a huge crisis like this?
Well, as I said, the golden hour. Establish the facts as quickly as possible. One of the biggest problems, and I've heard this from so many people who've been involved in some massive crises over the years, the first lesson is realizing you're actually in one. And the big question I'd want to ask the decision makers today is, what would you do differently? Now, that'll come out in a public inquiry that'll probably happen eventually in a couple of years' time. What would you do differently? And if they were being dead straight and honest with me now, they'd tell me what they'd do differently. So that's the big lesson. And so when you're going through your own crisis, you act quickly on all the available evidence. You try to get as many views as possible, as many perspectives as possible, so you're not caught unawares at a later date. And one of the most important things is, don't try and do it all yourself. Get people who can give you sound advice and take that advice on board. And they might say things to you that you don't like, that you're very, very uncomfortable with. That might be a personal criticism of yourself as your boss or someone else. But those are probably the most important opinions to listen to. And then you make your decision. Treat your customers as adults. Treat them as intelligent people, and your stakeholders and your staff, including your front of house staff. Treat them like adults. Be as transparent as possible whenever you can, and you'll ride through it with a bit of luck. And luck is important.
Mick, absolutely fantastic advice. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, John.